I hope you beautiful lot. My name's Jason, and this is You Put the Boom Boom Into My Heart. This is my 80s podcast. If you thought that intro was good, take a look at this. Absolutely brilliant. Up you beautiful lot. My name's Jason, and this is You Put the Boom Boom Into My Heart. Right, this is my 80s podcast, and I've not done one on my own for ages. So I've asked people to ask me some questions about what it was like for me growing up in the 80s. And I'm going to have to put my glasses on, because if I don't, I won't be able to see the questions. Hold on. Right. So I've asked I've had quite a few. Any question I asked that you would like to ask me, growing up in the 80s, what it was like for me. And do you know what the first one was? What was the worst film you ever watched in the 80s that you didn't like, or scared me, or whatever it was? And I have to be honest, it was Salem's Lot. I think it was pre-70s, but I remember it being put on TV in a like another mini series where you had one each week or something, or one every day. I can't remember. It was like 1981, I think, and I was only 10. And I remember going on and on at my mum to watch this film. She's going, "No, you won't like it." I think she'd watched it ages ago. No, you're too young. And I'd gone on, and in the end she went, "Go on then." And I remember watching Salem's Lot and absolutely pooing my pants. Even now. And I remember there's so many bits in it that absolutely scared me to death. And I remember the first bit was, do you know the bits where it was more like it was obviously, because it was like, I mean, when you watch it now, some of the stuff is incredibly 80s. And I remember there was the one scene was where I mean, there's loads of them, but I think one of the main characters had been bit by. He'd gone into a grave because these kids had been vampire murdered or whatever. And he opened this grave in this box, and he took the lid off, and there was a lad there, a kid, and this kid just jumped out, and it was literally the noise, because it was more the sound effects, wasn't it, in some of the films that scared the effing life out of you. I remember jumping up and just biting his neck, and it cut off, and then as it went on, David's soul was massive then, wasn't he? And he was in it. And I remember him opening this door, and the bloke that obviously been bit was sat in a chair, and he was on a rocking chair, and all he kept doing was and as a 10-year-old, that absolutely freaked the effing life out of me. And I remember just sitting there thinking, I can't. And shaking there, and you're sitting there watching it behind a pillar, and he was just like, and I just thought, I can't do this. But carried on, as you do, soldiers on, as we did in the 80s. And some of the worst bits was when, obviously, they come alive, these vampires, and some of the friends were in the bed, laying there in the bed, and there was this tapping. Oh, it's when we got cold, look. Tapping on the window. And they just, why? I mean, I have to be honest, as a 10-year-old, why? Why the F would you open that? There's no way on Mary Mother effing Earth would I have opened that. I just wouldn't. There's no way on earth I would have opened that door. And all I remember, that window. But they did, and I mean, someone's floating up outside your window, going, "Let me." Whatever it was. So they opened the window, and as they opened the window, they stood back, and this flying vampire boy came in and just went for and it's like, and all I remember, not on you. And I think one of the worst things about that, I always remember after watching, especially that part of the film. Obviously, as a 10, I couldn't sleep on me because I was that scared. And I remember laying on the end of my mum's bed. And at the time, my mum always slept with the windows open. Come hell, rain, or effing shine, that woman had the windows open when we was growing up as kids, even now. And all I remember is, I think my dad's mum had an argument with her husband or something, but we didn't know that at the time. And I remember laying in bed, and also you heard something pinning the window. And it was like someone throwing a stone at the window, going, "Wendy." Obviously, mum's name's Wendy. Wendy. And I absolutely felt like my life would come to an end. And I can remember just absolute sheer panic. Obviously, my mum was the window, and it was my grandma outside. I had a big argument with her husband. But yeah, so that, even now, to this day, that still reminds me of my grandma all them years ago, tapping on a window, throwing stones at the window, going, Wendy. And all I kept in was, so yes. So Salem's Lot was probably one of the worst films that especially horror films I'd seen, that scared the living daylights out of me. But I have to be honest, other films I used to not bother me, but I always remember watching and TV shows. So I'll answer this question as well. So not so much films and TV. So 80s, some of the, and I remember watching Lassie as a kid. Lassie Come Home or whatever it was used to make me cry my heart out. And everyone knows me. I'm not a roarer. I don't cry anything. But Lassie Come Home. Oh, how this dog used to whimper around, and he'd be bombed, and especially when it was like he'd been sold or he'd gone in the war or something, and Lassie used to tell them, didn't say a word, but used to be able to tell them. And he'd limp back like that, off dead, used to break my heart every time I watched Lassie Come Home. And another thing, and I never watched Doctor Who, and I know there's loads of Doctor Who fans, and fair play to you, but I've never watched it since the Daleks scared the effing life out of me. I can't even, now you see it, you just think, why did that bother me? Why the hell did that bother you, Joe? But at the time, the Daleks used to scare the effing life out of me. So that's TV and film. I've gave you a bit more than I should have done. And one of my other questions were, what was one of your favourite games, favourite toys? I had loads growing up. We wasn't ever rich, but we were quite lucky. We got what we want. I remember my first ever record player was this massive orange thing that I think lasted about a week, and we had to send it back because it just broke. And I remember the old box record players with the lids, and you used to put about 500 singles on it, so that when the first one played, the other one would drop, and eventually loads would drop, and then it starts sliding when it. So I had a racing bike, I had BMX, chopper. For me, my favourite ever one would have to be my chopper. And I mean in bike here, everyone. For you out there. Chopper means bike. So it was my chopper, and it was an orange chopper. And I always remember being just absolutely obsessed with this chopper, and it was just, now I've seen them, and they're going for hundreds of pounds now. Why did we never save anything? Just tell me, why in the 80s did we never save some of this stuff that we had in the 80s? Because now it's worth an absolute fortune, and I'm trying to get it all back. But my chopper was absolutely the only bad thing with a chopper, if you was a boy, not sure what it was like for a girl, is the gears were here. So every time if you whack your brakes a little bit too sharp, you'd smash them into that gears. But yeah, I used to croggy your mates on the back. It used to be absolutely brilliant. So chopper was probably one of my favourite toys or gifts, or whatever you want to call it, that I used to have. And I used to have a BMX at BMX. You owned the road when you had a BMX, didn't you? BMX was good. I've heard about you. When I grew up in the 80s, the BMX was good we used to jump over people on our bikes. When you think about it now, you just think, what in the sugary, why? And I always remember we used to have like pile of bricks. So I don't know what else did. We used to pile bricks so high, put a bit of wood on it, and people would lay underneath it. Fuck, honest. People used to lay underneath it. You'd start off with one, then you'd go up and jump on it. Then they start off with 2, 3, 4. And if you were the 6th one at the end, you knew as eggs you were going to be crushed. Well, some of us didn't, but how the hell we were never crushed? But you used to go right up the street and just hit that ramp on your bike and just go flying over these poor friends. They used to lay there. I think I did lay there once. I was never at the end. There's no way on earth you're crushing me. But yes, I chopper bike and BMX bike. I had loads of great 80s toys. I used to have obviously the Rubik's Cube. I used to have a snake one I used to be able to do. Can I do that now? I've got that. Remember the snake one that used to... I have no idea. Absolutely no idea how to do that now. I used to be able to do that like that when I was a kid. Now I can't even begin to tell you how to do it. But yeah, I used to watch that. So yeah, so chopper, bike. But yeah, my chopper bike and my BMX was just, and roller skates. Oh, I used to have a great pair of orange and blue, not orange and blue, damn lie, Joe. Yellow and blue roller skate. The wheels were yellow and the skate was blue. I used to be able to speed skate and everything. I think now, if I went on a pair of roller skates, I don't have any traction. And I think I'd love to be able to do it, and I think I could do it, but I think I would break every bone in my left arm, just my left arm. But yeah, so roller skates as well. We used to go to great discos, didn't we? We used to go to where I used to live. We used to be a big hall called Granbure's, great roller disco every Saturday. And eventually, where I used to live, we used to have a recreation centre behind the back of us. We used to go roller skate. Absolutely loved it. Just so much fun. Great 80s music, banning around, great flashing disco lights. And there you were on your roller skates, owning that rink. Was it rink? Oh, whatever. Owning something. But we just absolutely incredible. So yeah, so they were the toys that I absolutely loved in the 80s. And I always remember them more than anything else because I want them back. This is what I'm saying. This is why please don't ever, anyone now, please don't ever get rid of stuff now. I mean, they probably won't be as good as the 80s stuff, but save them. Save them somewhere because they will probably be, you will want them eventually as you grow a bit older. But yeah, so chopper, grifter, roller skates, record player. And what's the next question? I want to take these glasses off to get my nerves. What is the next? I think I spoke about that. What was your number one film? So I know we've talked about like TV shows, but my favourite ultimate film, I have loads of them if I'm honest. And what my top three will probably be Breakfast Club, Mannequin, because I absolutely, you can't get Kim Basinger, poor Kim Cattrall. Because Kim Cattrall, for me, was absolutely incredible. I loved when she was in Police Academy as well. When she was in them, she was incredible. But Mannequin, absolutely brilliant. One of my favourite films, Hollywood. So Hollywood was incredible from Mannequin. Oh, hold on. Just to tell you, I did like them. Got a bit of Hollywood here, you see. There you go. Yeah, so Hollywood was just, the actor that played him was incredible. And Kim Cattrall was absolutely brilliant for me, and so was Andrew. He was just absolutely, what a great film that is. But The Breakfast Club for me was such I don't think you probably don't get the same feeling from it now. So what happens when you're born in the fucking 70s, grew up in the 80s, you go a bit blind. But yeah, but The Breakfast Club for me was just phenomenal. It was such a simple idea, but just when you, even now, I've watched it so many times and I can still watch it now and still enjoy it. You would never be, well, you better not remake it. You would never be able to remake The Breakfast Club ever, because for me it's just you just couldn't. It's now when you watch The Breakfast Club, it's of its time, isn't it? 'Cause it's 5 different people from different walks of life. Like obviously you got the, I wasn't saying knobhead, but you got the hooligan, you got the princess, you got the nut jock, what they call, you know what I mean, and then you got the jock, and you got the weird one, and a geek, and you got and you got the teacher who just obviously believed his own heart. But for me, it was just incredible, and I love the fact that when I've read about that, I lived a lot of it. But Breakfast Club, absolutely incredible. So was Mannequin, and I mean, I love the Police Academy as well, but I love Gremlins and things like that. I loved watching. I can watch them all the time, Gremlins, and things like, you know what I mean? Even like, I was going to say Master of the Universe, but not the 80s one. Well, I did like it at a time, but when I've rewatched it, probably doesn't fall so well now. But yeah, so they're my 80s movies. There's loads more. E.T. I remember first watching E.T. When that come out, that was absolutely huge. And close your ears if you don't want to hear this. And we didn't go to watch the cinema, but someone got it on one of them dodgy VHSs. So we watched it at home, and I remember my parents watching it first because they didn't want to. They didn't know what it was about, and they didn't know whether we were all gonna like it. And we was like standing outside looking through the curtains while they were watching it. But E.T. was just a massive thing at the time. So yeah, E.T. as well. Extraterrestrial E.T. makes you cry every time you watch it. You know what I mean? They're connected. E.T. and Elliot. If Eddie Reese's Pieces, for God's sake. I mean, what a great friend that is. So yes, that would be mine. Films. Right, what else we got? Oh, music. As you know, I love the 80s music. I do a show, and I'm just teaching myself to DJ at the moment. So, as you can see at the back, coming at you. So I love 80s music. I love absolutely everything about music, especially 80s, and I like some of the other stuff, but 80s music for me. I grew up, obviously I was born in 71, so I was young in the 70s. I remember that I was a little bit obsessed with the Nolan sisters. How the fuck my mum didn't know. I grew up with the Nolan sisters. Little bits of ABBA I remember listening to. But in the 80s, I remember just being absolutely blown away with some of the music now. I mean, we had some great, even now, that's why I love doing it. I can listen to an 80s song and you get that feeling from the pit of your gut that it just makes you feel happy. I love our music can make different people feel different things, but for me, it just makes me feel really happy, and it makes me want to get up there. And if you've seen my shows, Back to the Boom Boom Cupboard every Monday, or it'll be Monday, Wednesday, and Friday soon. Come and join us on TikTok, 9 till 10:30 in the morning. I get lost sometimes. I do quizzes as well, but sometimes when I put that 80s music on, I feel like I'm the only one there in a nightclub, in a disco. It was 80s disco, dancing around for my life. I just loved it. So for me, 80s music is just a feel good thing, and it just you don't. I don't care what anyone says. You can't make them. You can't even remake them sort of songs like the Aha, Take on Me, the Whams, the Duran Durans, the Spandau Ballets, the the Gold and all that, all that sort of stuff. And I love Five Star. So anyone knows I was a little bit obsessed with Wham. When Wham dumped me, or when they quit, I went on to Five Star, and Five Star was just incredible. I loved Five Star. Used to get my sisters bouncing around to every single one of those. And Madonna, 80s Madonna was just mind blowing for me. 80s Madonna was just she was iconic for me there. And Whitney Houston was just something else. But I still love all the Nick Kershaws, all the Howard Jones. Even now, you listen to, there's loads. I could go on and on and on. But when I listen to 80s music, I just get that great feeling. It makes you feel happy. Makes you want to get there. And we had some great intro. I didn't realise how long our intros were in the 80s. We had some great intros, didn't we? So I've just been trying to get some more great music from my DJ in my live show soon. So they're the songs that I used to love. Absolutely anything, even like OMD. I completely forgot about it till someone said, Jay, on one of my lives, go and listen to OMD. And I thought, God, they were good. Locomotion, and oh my God. So and Kylie, 80s Kylie, 80s Sonia, 80s, as much as Stock Aitken Waterton was cheesy as F, come on, you can't deny they were catchy bangers, they were. So all that sort of stuff. I loved all that. 80s Madonna, 80s Kylie, Five Star, Wham, Howard Jones, everything about the 80s. There's loads more 80s stuff I love, and I love to play, and I just play absolutely anything anyone wants me to play. But I just love the 80s. 80s music for me was just a feel-good thing. And do you know, like when you were younger, you was in your bedroom, Tina Turner, Private Dancer album, I was screeching out that song Private Dancer, and my mum used to bang on the ceiling and go, you need to tell him what that song's about. I had no idea what I was singing, but now I do. But great. Tina Turner was just incredible. And Cher, what more do you say about Cher? Absolutely incredible as well. Happy 80th birthday, Cher, as well. So I'm recording this on the 20th of May, Cher's 80th birthday. So have a happy birthday, Cher, you incredible human being. Right, that's me done just for this part, and I will be doing another part a bit later on. So have an amazing day. Give us a like, give us a comment, give us a share. Not the singer chef only. And subscribe to us on YouTube. But have an amazing day, you amazing human beings. How brilliant was that? If you love the 80s like I do, please go over to my YouTube channel, my Spotify channel, and Apple Podcast. You put the boom boom into my heart and give us a share, not the singer share, not if I could turn back time, not that share, but just share. Like, comment, and subscribe. But most of all, have an amazing day and just show us some love, some 80s love. Have a good day, you beautiful lot.